Hola amigos, here's Alokanand on my emotional Friday mood on this themed week on Jovian. This theme of loving oneself. I remember when I heard that concept, because I think that's all it was in a way for me. When I first heard it, I heard it in Pune. I heard it out of the mouth of Osho. 5125 1057. And wow, it just, at the same time that it was a rather shocking concept, not even new, just shocking even. I was very young. I had such a deep resonance to it. I remember thinking immediately that, of course, that would be such a great possibility. The thing was, well, how do you do that? Really. Which, when I think of it now, and it actually just takes a little bit of common sense, that if you have to ask yourself this kind of question, how do you do to love yourself? You may not recognize, because it is actually not even normal, it's not even normal that you get to ask yourself that question, because everybody is, the normal thing is that you're so busy with loving others and making sure you're being loved by others. So most people, they don't even get to that place where they were loving themselves as an option, not even at an intellectual level as it was for me when I met it the first time. But there must be such a deep existential truth in just those two words, love yourself, that I felt an immediate resonance to it. Obviously, when I met Human Design, I in many ways knew that it was not like I was in a place where I knew I was unconditionally on my side when confronted with conflict with others, which was something rather common in my life. But at least I knew that the main and deepest reason of my suffering was not loving myself. This much I knew, this much I figured out, this much I could just say by watching what has been continuously repeating as a pattern in my own experience. And then I met Human Design. And it made such a difference. Well, yes. It made such a difference. I love... Today, I heard on Jovian do his piece on loving oneself, and he started off by this mantra that he had in the beginning. You are unique, you have no choice. Love yourself. And I am recalling another mantra that he actually started off with, that I remember that at the time I didn't like it so much, you know. On one side, I didn't really understand how much it is already a made expression in English, at least in American English, and somehow it was still something to be proved to me through experience that it actually was so. But I must say, after 14 years, I keep, sometimes I just have to find my own mantras and lines to, for the courses, for stuff that I do, publicities. And there was this mantra of something different that makes a difference, And it's so true. It makes such a difference. And coming back to where I started off. What exactly is the difference that human design has made for me? Because I didn't change. I am not a different person. I do not have a different temper. It's the seeing that has changed. The way I look at things. The way I look at the screen of my computer while I'm speaking this. It's not looking at anything. You see, the difference for me is how I see. The way the not self, the not self is where we carry our open centers. So we're always looking for those who have defined, who have definition in those centers. And of course, if you think that you are what is open in you, when you meet somebody that is defined there, you feel actually that you're meeting somebody like you. Just exactly like you. And of course, it's not true. So whatever starts like that in the name of whatever, but when it starts in the name of love, we all know what a mess it becomes when the real life force have to share their time together, make decisions together, function as one, dissolve individual identity into the shared flow. Poof. It's a way to see. And it's a way to see the other. You see, I never think when I'm talking to any other that I am talking to someone like me. It is also true that with my undefined G, it is not always easy to explain the difference with clarity, but then again, that's also just a question of how much I bother. Because on the inside, I see the difference very, very clearly. And I see it. I've learned to see it with human design, through human design, and in this, it truly, if I look back, it made a difference from the very, very moment that I had my reading and I went out of Ra's place. Because, I didn't know at that time that I was just becoming aware of having a not, of being conditioned. I didn't know how much I was actually hooked and addicted to that conditioning. In that sense, the only difference experientially was that before I was being conditioned without even realizing I was exactly doing what I just described, thinking I'm meeting somebody just like me every time I would find somebody with definition in the centers that I was open. And afterwards, well, I was just actively and consciously looking for that. However, the seeing was different, and I could, for myself, having this knowledge, no matter how rudimentary it was at that moment, it just made me so much, it just helped me become so much aware of my own projections, that what I am seeing is not what is truly there. So it was a very slow motion process, as it has to be for an emotional being like myself. But if I have to describe the essence of that difference, of what loving myself through the understanding of my design meant for me, was a radical change in my way of seeing. However, it is just something nice to share with all of you looking backwards. But the real point that I actually wanted to make with all of this is that, it is one thing to have your consciousness open to the possibility of loving yourself, even as a concept. And it is another thing entirely to know or understand how do you actually do that. And this is for me the big difference that human design brought into my life. It brought a technique, and the technique is that it provides something that's consistent for you to experiment with. That's how I learned that there was nothing wrong with me being such an emotional man. This is how I learned to trust my feelings, no matter what a challenging task that is, and what a challenging kind of life that implies. Well, that makes for my pleasure of all that I have gotten to experience, to see. Not just, first to experience, and through those experiences actually transforming the way I see, learning to trust the places that my emotional authority takes me to, rather than trusting my mind in getting me to some kind of ideal place that does not exist, never existed. And now that I know it, don't even want to go there, even if I knew that it exists, because it just feels, being human and seeing what I get to see as a human is good enough to love myself. No need for things otherworldly, enjoying the human symptoms of being on the mundane plane, because I know what they are. I know their limitation, and I know how that limitation interplays with the limitation of my own form. It's so beautiful to, instead of being afraid of being limited, to actually be fulfilled, because your very limitation provides the unique difference in what you get to see and in your way of seeing it. Bueno, amigos, I think that was it for my Friday. I wish you all to have an enjoyable weekend. I will be back next Friday. Hasta luego. Bye.